Now get ready for Watching Wyrd, your ultimate destination for mind-bending movie reviews and recommendations. From hidden gems to cult classics, we explore it all. Hosted by storytellers and cinephiles Alan Gamboa, Scott Baker, Rich Restucci, and Hadley Thorne, with a special shout-out to Landis Aldana and Alan Lasseter for their incredible support that help us keep the lights on at Wyrd. Now grab your Coke, popcorn, and tinfoil hat, and let's get weird.
Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Happy Weird Wednesday.
Yes.
So I am back from Atlanta, and I recovered from Mardi Gras and the flu and all the stuff, and now it's pollen season. So
how many sets of beads did you get?
How many what?
Sets of beads. Yeah.
I didn't get any because I had the flu.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to that Mardi Gras ball and I got the flu. So I went to a Mardi Gras ball on Saturday. I came down with the flu on Sunday, and I was sick for 2 weeks. So
there is shit going around. It's going through my school like the bubonic plague in a medieval village. We've had several teachers that have been out at least a week or more.
That's tough. Let's talk about the JFK files. You were mentioning that you had I know you had researched that a lot at one time.
Yeah, when I was in college. I don't know what the files said. I only saw a little bit of it on Jesse Walters. And some of the redacted parts were talking about how Lee Harvey Oswald may have been an operative for the CIA. And that they were the ones that sent him to Russia. And that's why when he came back, they allowed him into the country. I've heard those stories before. I kind of believe that they may be true, but I'm still a very firm believer. I've done a lot of research. I think the mob took out JFK. And very quickly, the reasons being the mob helped him get elected in Chicago. And then when Robert Kennedy turned on the mob, they decided it was time to get back. I don't think if anybody in the government wanted to assassinate Kennedy, either one, they could have done it privately, not in a public display like that, or considering his affairs. I mean, he was having an affair with Marilyn Monroe, a mobster's boss, all these other people. This was the time of like Andy Griffith Show and Rob and Laura Petrie. All they would have had to do was release photographs and evidence of that. Would have destroyed not only him, but the reputation. You know, Kennedy, there would never have been a Kennedy anywhere in politics again. And I think it was the mob because I think that's the cover-up. Not because the government did it. They just don't want to admit that the mob was able to take out the president of the United States. And I back that up with most of the mobsters who were supposedly involved met unusual circumstances over the next 10 years.
Well, I will say I started watching that. There's a new show on Netflix about Manson, and they refer to a man that was involved with Jack Ruby, that was supposedly one of the doctors in the MK Ultra CIA stuff that Manson was supposedly involved in. So I don't know. They said it was very interesting that he was involved both with Manson and with the JFK thing. So I don't know. It would be very interesting, I think, to have a show researching and not have just one show, but like a short series where people, you know, like you and Jennifer, who I know really, really have been intrigued with the whole JFK assassination, review the new material, and just kind of come together and discuss it. I think we could have a lot of fun with that.
Okay. Hi, Fred. Say hi to everyone. Say hi, Fred. I would love to, you know, with that, I agree with you. That would be interesting. I would love to see them also do a Menendez brothers type show where you showed all the sides and then at the last episode what they think really happened.
That could be interesting.
Also,
I miss us doing true crime stuff.
Yeah. Also, I got hooked on this in school. One of my friends, I help him teach a dystopian course. If you're looking for some really bizarre, but frightening because it could be so true, dystopia things, Netflix, Black Mirror. There's probably about 6 seasons, maybe 15 episodes. They're less than an hour. Every one, most of them. The first one, skip the first one. The first one is ridiculous. But almost every one of them has a really bizarre and unique story to tell about a dystopian society based on some of the stuff, the technology in that we have today. Really good. I had to watch one of them for the dystopian class, and I've fallen in love with the series.
I have heard I need to watch it. I think I probably watched that first episode you're saying not watched. And
the one about the prime minister with the pig.
I did not watch that. I probably would have been. I don't even know what to think when you said that.
It's a stupid episode, and if I had seen that one first, I wouldn't have watched the others. I watched one on season 3. Start with this one. Dallas Bryce Howard. Brilliant performance, nosedive. It's about the entire society is based on your rating on this. You know? Oh, you've got a 4.1. You've got a 4.18. Well, you need a 4.2 to get a better job. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, she is so brilliant in that one.
Well, I want to do a shout out because I see one of my fan favorites out there, Mona Pennington, Landa, got some Dungeon Dan, Alan Lassiter. We got a big group in the house already.
Oh, I forgot to look at the comment section. Hello, everyone. I've got
some sad news, folks. Rich has gotten tied up. He was working offshore today. And he said he probably would not make it, so it looks like he's not. I don't know where Alan is, but Alan usually shows up, so he might be a little late. If not, we're going to hope for the best. And until then, you got me and Scott. And speaking of craziness, can I talk about the Great Gatsby?
Beauty and the Beast. Yes, you may.
So, I want to preface this by talking about F. Scott Fitzgerald's epic tale, The Great Gatsby. This is one of my favorite works of literature. It is close to my heart. I absolutely adore I think it's the 1974 version of this movie with Robert Redford, Mia Farrow. I think Karen Black's in it. I'm gonna have to look real quick. So y'all hold on, because it bears mentioning who plays Nick in it, because you'll know who I'm talking about. It's I think Sam Waterston.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean it is an all-star classic cast, and I was very intrigued to see the remake in 2013 with Leonardo DiCaprio, because of my love of the story and just everything about this. And as y'all know, Baz Luhrmann? He redid this movie. It's a classic. And it was over the top. It was incredible scenery. And it was, I'm not going to say it was a very different version than what I expected or wanted to see. So, yes, it was Sam Waterston who plays Nick Carraway in this. It's got an all-star in the 74 version of this movie. And then we move forward to the 2013, which we're going to talk about. So, as Jay Gatsby, we've got Leonardo DiCaprio. We've got Carey Mulligan as Daisy, and we've got Joel Edgington as Tom Buchanan, Tobey Maguire as Nick Carraway. Oh, and I should mention in the 74 version also that it was Bruce Dern played Tom. So,
Oh,
yeah, much better. I told you would like it better. This movie, and I'm not going to go into this summation, because if you like classics, read the book. If you want to see a better movie, watch the old one. And I think there's 4 versions of this film out there. Be sure to watch the one with Robert Redford. I love Leonardo DiCaprio, and I was really disappointed in his performance in this. I felt like it was almost like a caricature of the character of Jay Gatsby, who is one of the most incredible characters I think probably ever written. This character is someone who has carried a torch for Daisy all of his life, and he has envisioned and kind of fantasized about what the future would be like with her, and everything he's done, every bit of his fortune that he's made to kind of win her over. And in this portrayal of the character, I feel like he's almost bumbling and not as suave and debonair as Robert Redford. Anyway, this movie was like an opium dream. Instead of having the classic, and again, it's an interpretation, and it's artistic interpretation at that, but instead of having the classic 1920s vibe, they were using hip-hop music, and, it just really wasn't a testament or testimony of the time period. It was, again, like a fantasy of the time period, a fantasy of the story, and I didn't like it. I don't know what else to say. Again, I don't think Scott has seen either the old movie or read the book, and I'm going to have to say, Scott, you deserve to do both.
I'll definitely watch the original movie. I didn't read the book because my high school had the worst literature classes ever. We didn't read Charles Dickens, like Tale of Two Cities. We read Great Expectations. We read Silas Marner. When it came time to do Shakespeare, we did Titus Andronicus. By the time I was out of high school, I did not want to read any literature. I was so sick of it that most of the books, the good books, I never read. And I just can't bring myself to read them. And I don't know if I could read it now that I know the ending, but I definitely want to see the Robert Redford version. I've heard it's probably the most accurate. But yeah, I agree with you. This one just seemed so out of place. It was almost as if it wasn't about Gatsby. It was about the fireworks and the huge man and all the people. It almost was as if Gatsby was taking a third place to the scenery and to the other character, the narrator, Tom.
Nick was the Nick. And I thought that y'all don't shoot me because it don't matter to me one way or the other, but it almost seemed like in this version at times that Nick was in love with Gatsby, which it wasn't. How it was written. In how it was written, it was like he saw Gatsby as the best of them all, and it was the truth. Gatsby was, and I mean, I'm not going to ruin the story for anybody, but he wasn't a. I think he had a little bit of a criminal element in his work, but he was a dreamer. He was someone who believed in love. He was someone who everything he did was motivated by the love of this woman. And he changed everything about himself to kind of fit into her world. Yeah. And I mean, and this is, and y'all know, I mean, you've heard stories or you've got one yourself of someone from your past who you just have elevated to the point of, just a fantasy. Like, that's just not who, and she's changed and she's no longer that person. And I mean, and for a moment there, because of her dissatisfaction with her own marriage, she kind of buys back into the love affair that they had, which he's all in. And when it comes time for her to make the decision to leave, she won't do it. She won't leave her husband, which, I mean, you shouldn't leave your husband for, the hot guy who shows up with all the money. But her husband was old money. Her husband was, I think how they wrote it was like one of the richest families in the nation. He was one of those Buchanans. Yeah. And it was just, like I said, it was just kind of tragic that he had this romantic love for this woman, and she just kind of used that for her own purposes.
Yeah, I mean, how do I say this without getting... She had changed so much. She was more in love with the vast amounts of wealth and the fame than she was with her old lover. And mm-hmm. I really felt bad for him in those last 20 minutes.
Yeah. Because, and this is a spoiler if you haven't seen the story. In the story, Tom Buchanan, her husband, is having this affair, and it's not the first. He's had many affairs, but he's having an affair with the mechanic down the road's wife, Myrtle, I think was her name. And there's a tragic accident, and Myrtle is run over, and it is assumed that Jay Gatsby is the one who ran her over, when in fact it was Daisy. And at the end of the story, it comes out she never told her husband. So she never even told her husband that she was the one driving the car, and Gatsby gets murdered, or unalived. He gets unalived over this because Tom Buchanan sends the mechanic to his house as the person who unalived her. So you might hear, I've got two running around, Mona. But I think Wilson's got a toy, and he's throwing it out of his mouth and throwing it up in the air and getting it. But anyway, it was just, again, it's kind of tragic that he even in his death, she wouldn't stand up for him. I mean, it's really a beautiful and very tragic love story, but it tells a lot about the people. And again, Jay Gatsby, he's just a great character. It is a great character. It is a beautifully written book. If anyone loves to read anymore, please, please, please read this. And if not, at least watch the 1974 version with the beautiful and wonderful Mr. Robert Redford. Because he's so debonair in it, Scott. He is just the epitome of what you think class and, old boy talking slick stuff.
That was the thing that offed for me, because I didn't really realize until you mentioned it. They were playing hip hop music, and the sets and that, it was like, no, it was, because I know Great Gatsby is set in the 1920s or the early 30s, and none of it jived with me. It gave me this why am I watching this?
Yeah, it didn't work for me.
I like what Landon said. You should if your husband is a bad person. Yes.
Yeah.
If your husband's having an affair.
He not only was he having an affair, he was abusive.
Yes.
And I don't know if that transferred over to the Daisy character, but he definitely was with Myrtle.
Oh, yeah.
Broke her nose when they go into the city. And I did like how it portrayed some of the debauchery of those time periods with Nick being with him. Because, I mean, Nick is Daisy's second cousin. And they come from the Midwest. And it just kind of shows how that time period was so incredibly debaucherous.
Yeah.
So what did you think about it?
Me?
Yeah. Let's talk.
We've been talking about it. I had a hard time getting through it, to be honest. If it wasn't for the fact that we were going to be talking about it tonight, I probably would have shut it off after the first half hour. It just wasn't settling right with me. You know, it was the whole vibe of it. There's some brilliant actors in it, but I don't think DiCaprio was utilized the best way. The best actor in it was the kid who's played Spider-Man. I can't think of his name. Tobey Maguire. He was the best in it. I really liked him. I liked the way, you know, and I don't know if the book and the first movie do it, but when he's talking to the psychiatrist saying, why didn't you write all this down? Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like almost his memoirs. But, you know, and I'm thinking, Leonardo, oh, this is going to rock. And it was just so like, it's almost like he phoned it in.
Yeah, it was a very, and I did watch an interview because after watching it for the second time, I was still mortified. And he said that he was very intimidated to take on this role because it is such an iconic character. And I just feel like he wasn't utilized to the best of his ability because there were times when you could see what he could have done with the role. And then, like I said, then they would show him being almost, I don't know the right word for it, but like when he's waiting for Daisy to arrive.
Yeah.
So hat in hand, and it's just not, it doesn't fit. It doesn't, it's like he goes from being this suave and debonair character to being incredibly.
But that didn't bother me that much because what I saw was, here's this guy, everybody loves him, everybody knows him, even though nobody's met him, and now he's about to meet the girl he loves, and he's falling apart. He's like, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know how to act. I thought that was good. And the other thing I really liked was the fact that he became good friends with Tobey Maguire, who was the only person that didn't want him for his money. Yeah. He wanted to be friends with him, you know, and the one person that never asked anything from him is the one that has to watch everything bad happen to him.
Yeah. Well, I cannot put in words the problem I have with the way that Leo played the character, but
yeah,
I will say that this is definitely it was a spectacle, and if you love the Art Deco stuff and Art Nouveau, it's definitely worth watching for that. The costumes were extraordinary. Mm-hmm. But it all throughout the movie was this like kind of dreamy quality that it wasn't really real. Mm-hmm. I mean, the movie just came across like it was like a dream. So I am not a fan. I don't know. That's about all I got on that. Is y'all don't need to watch it. You need to watch the 1974 version. Yeah. And you need to read the story because I think that y'all will like it.
I wished we had read that in high school. I wish they'd given us some good literature to read, but.
Well, I want to say Zelda Fitzgerald is one of the Zelda Fitzgerald, F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife, was a huge Southern belle. She was a party girl. She also had the nickname of Daisy, which ironically is the name of the character in this, which I found interesting. But it's a very, very interesting. F. Scott Fitzgerald is just interesting to me. And so is Daisy. But any questions in the audience?
No.
Oh, Clark's asking what movies. We did Good Will Hunting, The Great Gatsby, and what was the third?
Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver, which I did not get to this week. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I think I've seen this movie before though, but it's been a while.
Yeah. So what do we rate this Great Gatsby?
I'm just going to give it a thumbs down. I'm not even going to give it a score. It's just I would pass. Historically, I didn't find it historically accurate. That bothered me. I found the acting not up to par. Like I said, it had some great actors, but it just didn't do them justice. It was almost like a stage play in how they performed. You know what I mean? Like a little over the top for a movie. A little dramatic, but
Michelle.
yeah. So I'm just gonna say it's a thumbs down for me.
All right, I'll give it a 2. And that's because I did like Tobey Maguire in it.
Yeah.
Right.
See, you cannot compare it to the Sam Waterston version. And we'll talk after you watch it. I think that you'll see why I can't even rate this. It's just it's a pass. I suggest y'all pass on it.
Should we do Stand and Deliver?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I had seen this movie years ago, and I liked it, and I completely forgot about it until I started watching it the other night, and the movie really hit me on this one. It is about, and it's based on a true story. It's the story of Jaime Escalante, who was played by Edward James Olmos, who I think this is one of his best performances. And he winds up going to this underfunded Los Angeles school, Garfield High School, that is predominantly Mexican, Latin American kids. And there's issues with the school, of course, but nobody's funding it. And he shows up as the computer teacher, and the principal tells him, "Oh, we haven't had computers in 2 years. They keep on taking the funding." So they throw him into a math class. And it's what you would expect from high school students, especially from a underdeveloped neighborhood. But he sees what's inside them. Oh God, I can never think of his name. Another brilliant actor, the main kid there. Oh God, I hate it when I can't remember his name. And it's not even listed.
Oh no, it's he played
Philip Diamond.
Yes, Lou Diamond Phillips.
Lou Diamond Phillips, which is sad. He's not even listed on IMDb. He plays sort of the tough punk kid, but he's really a sweet kid because he's helping his grandmother. He's taking care of her. There's this young girl in the classroom, brilliant mind, but she's quiet. She sort of like blends into the background. And he sees this, and he starts working with these kids and challenging these kids. And he gets them to agree to take a calculus test. No one in this school has ever passed this statewide calculus test. But he drives them. He encourages them, and they practice it, and they take the test. They work after school. They work Saturdays. And it's all about how he takes that inner strength within them and makes them leaders of themselves. And they pass the test. Like almost every kid in the class passes the test. Then there's some little faux pas that goes on where they absolutely, because all the kids had the same incorrect and correct answers, the state thinks that they all cheated. And he's trying to make the case, no, they all learned from me. So therefore, all the answers will be right or wrong. So they have to take the test again. And this time they pass it, same with flying colors. And what happens in real life is every year he does this, and more students, I think at like 1 point, 77 students pass this calculus test, which then grants them access. They can now get into good colleges and improve their lives. It's a brilliant performance by all of them. I mean, most of the actors and actresses, I I don't know, other than Lou Diamond Phillips, Osmos, and one second, I can't remember her name, Estelle Harris, who's the secretary. She's got a small role in it, but she's so good. The reason when I watched this movie that I loved it is because that's the school system I teach in. Okay, my school it's a semi-public academy, and all the kids with educational issues, whether it's they're stressed out, whether they've got autism, dyslexia, they come to our school, and I see this. The teachers, myself, try to find that thing about the kids that they love and bring it out of them, bring out the ability to want to learn, bring out the ability to like start standing up for themselves. And this is why I love this movie, because it was like, okay, I see this happening every day, and I see kids that, a couple of years ago, some of the teachers are telling me this was the biggest pain in the ass in the school, and now he's one of the smartest kids in the school. I mean, I do the creative writing course. The brilliance of some of the stuff the kids are giving me, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. This stuff could easily be published in an anthology. I think the movie was great. He did such a good, and he looked so weird in this one because he's bald with the comb over, but he's just so compelling in it. I love this movie. I'm so glad we watched it for this, and I'm so glad I'm watching it now that I'm working in that environment.
Well, I remember this movie coming out on HBO. How old I am, back in the dark ages when it was new, and it was kind of like my first introduction into like the Hispanic Latino culture, because we, at that time in the area in which I lived, that was just not something that was, we had. I can remember getting the first Mexican restaurant, and that was when I met my first Hispanic and Latino people. I mean, so this movie came out around that time, and it was a very interesting look into the culture and almost his character. Because, I mean, if y'all are, again, dating myself, I mean, he was the lieutenant on Miami Vice. And, yeah, he was nice. He was that was around the same time period.
Oh.
But he made this movie, and the comb over was such a good choice because, he was the captain. It was somebody on Miami Vice. Anyway, that's where I knew him from. And it was a very different look at the character and a different look into this community. And it was very moving.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And it was, I'm figuring, okay, Lou Diamond Phillips is going to play the typical Lou Diamond Phillips character. He's going to be the punk. He's going to be the troublemaker. And he isn't. He's really a decent kid who wants to learn, but he's got to put on that punkish persona to survive in the environment. I think it's a grossly underrated movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, I agree. I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
I'm also agreeing that Landa is awesome, and I missed out.
Oh,
so,
Landa.
Making up for lost time, though.
Landa is awesomely awesome. Tony, it's funny you mentioned about the anthology, because I'm thinking of going to the dean this week. I'm meeting with her. I'm trying to teach I want to teach a year-long introduction to grammar class, because so many of these kids missed out on grammar during COVID. They can't write for crap. Even the kids with good imaginations have a lot of issues with commas and that. But I want to take them. I would like to publish them in an anthology, and then have all the proceeds from the anthology go back to funding the school. And and then like Tony said, that will build up. They're coming out of high school they're in a published book. So
that's kind of awesome, Scott. I like that.
I thank you. I love these kids. I really love them. There's a few in there that, if they were abducted by aliens, I would never report it. But most of these kids really want to, like, you'll see them in one class. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but like you'll see them in a class they don't like, and they're talking and they're on their cell phones, and then they come to the class they like. And the brilliance and the creative brilliance. There's, I have one student, I keep on asking him for his work. This is the picture he did of Nosferatu, Count Orlok. He drew and painted that himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I keep on telling him, do not give that up. He is brilliant. I had one kid, he was in 10th grade last year. He wrote a dystopian story. The ending blew me away. The ending was so good, I couldn't believe it. So,
well, look at you.
It's not me. It's not me. It's the kids themselves. I'm just providing the class to give them the outlet. Not all the teachers there are good. All they love. And God, you should see the plays they do. Every year we put on a play, and the plays are really good for a high school performance. So anyways, enough talk about my school. So what did you think of the movie?
Like I said, I remember watching it back in the day, and it just blew me away because it was for so many reasons. I mean, obviously I need to rewatch it as an adult, but I would say that, it was my introduction into a whole new culture that is American, but I just hadn't been exposed to it. So it was very interesting to me on a number of levels. But the dedication of the teacher is always something that I've identified, with strongly. I've got a lot of educators in my family, and I just thought that it was incredible. It's definitely a must watch. And like I said, I hate I didn't get to it this week.
Mm.
So I guess, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a 4.8.
Oh, okay. 4.8.
I mean, I only saved the 5 for The Thing and that type of movies, but
That is close.
What's Jay published?
Do what? I'm trying to
Landa, and had them Jay published. Simone gave it a 4.5.
I'm going to have to say, based on my memory, 4.5 is a strong yes. I'm going to stick with Mona and stand in solidarity. So, all right. Well, let's go to one of my favorites, Good Will Hunting.
Yes.
This was a fun one to rewatch for those of us who are Gen Xers and baby boomers, because we remember it coming out and all the hype of the Matt Damon and Ben Affleck writing this movie and getting it filmed and then starring in it. It was really fun to see them all fresh-faced and babies. Yeah. So I'm going to let you take over because you are a masshole and this took place in Boston.
And I got to tell you, it was so refreshing that they have the accents down perfectly. I'm going through this, watching it, seeing the South Boston, seeing the Boston skyline. I'm like, damn it, I'm home. This is my people. It's a very great movie. And I wasn't 100% prepared, so bear with me. It starts out with Stellan Skarsgård, who plays at Harvard University. He's the professor, Lambo, and he's a math teacher, and he writes this equation on a board outside his office saying, that, you'll get fame and fortune. Well, not fame and fortune, but you'll be very popular. This is one of the hardest equations to ever figure out. And the next day he comes back and it's filled up. And he keeps on asking the students, his classes, who did this? Who did this? And nobody admits to it. Well, it turns out it is it's Matt Damon. He's a janitor at the school. Very, very argumentative, very in your face, but he's also brilliant. I mean, this man, Matt Damon, like, just blows Lambeau and all the other professors off the court. But he's comes from not the hood, the Italian hood. And him and his best buddy, Ben Affleck, Chucky, they're blue collar workers. And, they're living, they're having what you would as a young kid. They go out, they drink, they try to pick up girls, and he really doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to become involved in this college scene. But there's an incident where they beat up this kid that was giving him crap, and he winds up going to jail because he really hurts them. So Lambeau is like, tell you what, I'll pay you bail money. You've got to go see a therapist every week to work through these issues. And the therapist, Sean, is Robin Williams. One of his, in my opinion, one of his best non-comical roles. And the whole movie goes through his, why is he the way he is? He's so brilliant and he's such an asshole. And it works through. And, he's ashamed, things that he's gone through. And I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it. He falls in love with this English student who's there. And they're having this beautiful love. They're deeply in love with each other, and issues arise with that. And it's a coming of age story for all four characters. Each one of them, Robin Williams and Stellan Skarsgård were good friends in college, and now they're butting heads with each other. And I love the fact that Robin Williams taught at Bunker Hill Community College. That's where I went my first year of college. Matt Damon coming of age, even Ben Affleck. It's very coming of age. It's brilliant performance by all four of them. I don't know if anybody won any or were nominated for Academy Awards for this. I don't.
I'm pretty sure. I'll look it up.
Yeah. But it is a fantastic movie. I saw it when it first came out. I've never seen it since, and I'm watching it again last night. And it's like, wow, I so much I missed on the first time. Like, there's one scene where Matt Damon is telling Ben Affleck, I don't want to go. I don't want to, I don't want to get a college degree. I don't want to, I don't want to make money and move ahead. I want to be here with you guys. And Ben Affleck pretty much tells him, you're an asshole. Yes, I love you. I love having you here, but I'm going to be so disappointed with you if you don't take advantage of this and move on. And it's a great movie. Four of them are fantastic. There's the performances are great. They play off of each other beautifully. The interactions between them. Definitely this, and for this week, Stand and Deliver were like equally tied for best movies.
Well, this is a favorite of mine, and I'm about to put something in the chat so y'all can see.
And I just want to double check. Gus Van Sant was the director of this. And I don't think he's really known for a lot of other big movies. I'm looking through on IMDb, and none of the movies he's directed I've ever heard of. Oh, wait a minute. He did Milk. I've heard of that one. If that's the yeah. Yeah, Milk was the one about the first was he yeah, he was that was oh god. I hate getting old. Sean Penn, he was California's first openly gay public official, which I've never seen the movie, but people say it's great. Oh, let's
It is really good.
Actor Robin Williams. Yeah, this movie deserved any awards it was given or nominated for. So what did you think?
I loved it. I loved it when it came out. I felt like everything about this movie was just great. I really liked because I hadn't seen it in a while, but watching the very opening scenes and they're riding in the car, it had a very indie film vibe, and it just made me realize how young and that they didn't have the big budget that they had. They made an incredible movie. And of course, when you have people like Stellan Skarsgård and Robin Williams in it, they're stealing the show. But for Matt Damon to hold and anchor the film like he did, and Minnie Driver and Ben Casey Affleck, and I don't know, for my Yellowstone fans out there, that was a very ginger Rip Wheeler. Cole Hauser is the silent friend riding around in the car with them. So it is an all-star cast, and you see how their careers have developed since then, because this was their breakout roles.
Yeah, and that was something else that just sounded so real to me. The banter between the four of them in the car. That reminded me of me and my buddies when we were driving around on a Saturday night having a good time. It was like, the one guy that's always picked on, the one guy that's cool, the other guy that's like, I'm looking for a fight.
I'm pretty sure that's how they act, because it's the two best friends, the little brother and the other friend,
Yeah, I like what Max said about the scene with the sandwich. I mean, and that was the other thing about it. They're Bostonians. It almost like I was teleported back. It is a brilliant movie.
I'm going to agree. I think this is one of those movies that is just perfection.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I miss Robin Williams so much watching this, because he was so incredible. In the scene where Matt Damon is describing the painting and his pain and all of that, I mean, you could just see that the smoldering anger in Robin Williams' eyes when he gets him by the throat. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Well, Mona, love you, Mona. Hope you feel better. Been thinking about you. She's giving it a 4.7. So, I just love this. I'd love to hear what everybody else thought, especially Tony and Max, because y'all are from up in that area too, aren't you?
See, I would love to have gotten Rich's take on this.
Me too. I was looking forward to it.
A fellow masshole. So I don't know. I think I would probably give this one. I'm going to give it a 5.
I think I'm going to give it. I'm just to trump you. I'm going to give it a 5.5, because it is. The acting's great. The storyline is solid. Everybody's performance was top notch.
Yes. And like the scene with the junk car they get for him.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus, that's my first car. So yeah. No, it was definitely a great pick. Now, the only thing I'm trying to figure out is we had 2 movies about education and The Great Gatsby. So what was the tie-in theme?
Well, I don't know that there was, but I know that I had to read the Great Gatsby in school.
Oh,
Maybe
all right.
Literature and education. I don't know.
I'll take that. That's acceptable. You're a fellow masshole, Max. So, what do you think of them Yankees?
I watched Ray Donovan, and so I knew what a Southie was. So I am going to say, if you haven't seen Ray Donovan, you should totally watch that show.
Yeah, that was the thing that unites all of us Bostonians. It's just the hatred for the Yankees. The best part about winning the World Series back then wasn't winning the World Series, which was great. It was beating the Yankees to win the World Series. So, and I remember that because they had not won a World Series in like 76 years. And when they won that World Series, oh my God, if you ever get a chance, review it because the announcers are losing it in the box. They're so happy and excited. Yes, I just said masshole. I agree. I'm in New Hampshire now, but yes, I'm a masshole, and I admit it. The way I sometimes drive, you could tell I got a New Hampshire license plate, but I'm from Massachusetts.
Well, speaking of massholes, where is Ash?
He is exhausted. He had to go in at 6 a.m. this morning. So he came home, had dinner, and went to bed.
I don't blame him. This getting old sucks.
He's 12 years younger than me.
He's my age. I can say that. I had to take a nap, too. I told you I fell asleep watching Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, I took a nap. Because I'm going to be up a little later tonight, so I have to pick up a mess. I bought a box of long-stemmed Q-tips for cleaning Fred's ear, and I made the mistake of leaving him on the coffee table. When I came home, guess who decided to make him chew toys?
Fred.
Yes, Massachusetts drivers are the worst. New York drivers are aggressive, but they know what they're doing. Massachusetts drivers are like, oh, there's my exit. Not all the mass murderers are from Massachusetts. Just the most famous, the Boston Strangler.
Hey, so have you seen that there's a new show on HBO? I think it's a movie called The Parenting.
No.
So it makes me think of the original, like, Evil Dead crossed over with the Fockers.
Huh.
Because there's a demon in the basement and the Wi-Fi password is in Latin, and this gay couple is having their parents meet for the first time. So it's got Lisa Kudrow in it. It is pretty funny so far. I haven't finished it, but I think that you might get a kick or two out of it.
What's it on? HBO?
HBO or Max. I think they're kind of tied together now.
Okay. I don't remember.
Like The Haunting, but the parents.
I'm looking forward to seeing the new Alien series that's coming on.
Oh, when's that coming out?
Next month, I think. So it'll be interesting to see. They're saying that it's more to the original 2 movies than it is to the rest of the franchise. So
interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. There's a lot of stuff that's horrendous. But you can go to my Facebook page. I mean, I'm always posting. There's one about like a giant killer rat that's on the loose, which is probably Aliens on Hulu. Thank you, Max. Which is probably like a horrendous movie, but I still got to watch it.
Well, I hate I missed last week's tribute to the wonderful Gene Hackman.
Yes. God, what a shame. What a horrible way for him and his wife to go.
Oh, and the dog is just terrible.
Yeah. So,
And
before,
it's just so sad. I mean, it's just so sad.
all right, I can understand she passed away, but to be so demented, to have dementia so bad that you walk around the house and not realize it for a week.
Well, and to have dementia so bad that you don't eat or drink anything for a week.
Oh, yeah.
It's just terrible. And I mean, and again, and I've got a friend whose husband's kind of going through something similar. He's much younger. He's got aggressive Alzheimer's, and it is just so sad to think about what can happen. But it's just terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to end it on a sad note. So we got 5 minutes to talk about something fun. What you got going on, Scott?
This weekend, for all you New Englanders, I'm experimenting. I'm going to the Super Retro Fest at the Doubletree Danvers North Shore Hotel in Danvers, Mass. I've had a couple of writers I've met at conventions tell me they do really well there. I've never been there. I'm going to give it a shot. And there's a lot of B-grade stars that are going to be there. Marta Kristen, Judy Robinson from Lost in Space, Christy McNichol from the Pirate movie. I'm kind of anxious to see her. I had the biggest crush on her in college. And most of the cast of The Warriors is going to be there.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
Well,
Londa.
I don't have much going on. I missed y'all too, Max. Thank you for missing me.
Londa, what horrible zombie movie? I need the name so I know what to watch.
I want to watch that Electric State on Netflix with what is her name? Millie Bobby Brown, and Chris Pratt is the one with the giant robots.
Which one?
It Stains the Sands Red. Is that the one that takes place in the desert with the zombies?
I did not like that one. It just was so, to me, it was so dull.
I agree. It was very dull.
Really, Danvers was always a nice place, Max, when I used to go there in college. Now, that was in the 80s. But I'm not staying there. It's like 40 minutes from the house. I'll be coming home every night. I have to take care of the fur baby. Oh, and I will be bringing to the convention, and I'll post pictures, my new adopted baby.
You have a new adopted baby? What the heck? You hadn't told me this.
No, I just adopted him today. He just arrived today, and it's not a pet. It's not an animal, but I have a new adopted baby I'm bringing with me. I'll take photos and post them on my Facebook page this weekend.
Okay. Well, I'm interested to see what this is going to be like.
Yeah. I'm hoping it attracts customers.
All right.
Oh, what the heck? You guys are all buddies. Hang on a second. You're the crew, so I'm bringing him.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm bringing him. He's going to be with me at the conventions.
Oh, Scott, that's so scary.
I figure when it's quiet, I'm just going to stand out in front of the table. People walk by.
No. Don't like that.
Hey,
so next week, it looks like we are doing The Empire Strikes Back, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and The Matrix Reloaded.
Matrix Reloaded. Is that the second or third one?
It must be the second one.
Okay.
So, I'm interested because I'm wanting to rewatch all of the Star Wars movies.
I'm not Star Wars. I know I just got banned from this group for saying that. Thanks, Max.
All right, kids. Well, we'll see you same time next week.
All right. Take it easy and stay weird.
All right, Weirdlings, that's all for Watching Wyrd this week. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, the strange and unusual never sleeps. Well, except for maybe on Thursdays. Speaking of sleep schedules, here's a quick reminder about our other shows. Dive into the mysteries of the mind with Weird Awakenings every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cozy up with blondes, books, and campfire tales for spooky stories every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hone your craft and connect with fellow writers on Write With Me on the third Sunday of each month. And don't forget, Watching Wyrd now airs live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For all things weird, find us on social media via Linktree in the description below, or visit our website at weirdrealities.net. Stay weird.